What's up, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You are watching Oregon Outcast channel. We're going to do all sorts of cool stuff on this channel, but if you clicked on this video, you know that we're going to basically be talking about the Nova build. It's going to be a multi-part video, and this one's going to be about the chassis build, and we'll do kind of a little intro like this on every one. So this is going to be the first one. Thanks for watching.
There she is. Ain't she gorgeous? Ain't she beautiful? She's going to be a race car. She's gonna be my dream car. She's gonna be the fastest thing I ever owned. Whew, my word. What a beaut. Hold up. What the did I get myself into? Hang on while we take this 10-year looking project and turn it into this. Alright, as you guys can see, this thing was in pretty rough shape when I first got her. Floor pans weren't attached. It was a new floor pan, but it wasn't attached. The first thing I did was just gut the entire car. It had a stock front end on it, an old dead 350, a 9-inch that somebody mounted to the stock leaf springs. It did have slapper bars in it, but like I said, I wanted a rust-free car completely, and this thing did have some rust in both quarters and the front loom area and both pillars and all sorts of stuff. So I just put it on a utility trailer as soon as I gutted it, and yeah, this was the first pointless purchase I did with the car. Bought some big old wheels and tires to try to fit them. Anyways, this was before I put it on the trailer here, but we were gonna go to some rust clips here. You can see she had some issues when we first got her, just rust in the pillars, rust in the quarters. The whole front vent loom was all rusted out, so a lot of body work got done right on the initial part too. We're actually gonna start cutting it up here in a minute. So full disclaimer here, guys, this is how I did the car, or we did the car, and it may not be how you would have done the car, and if you don't agree with some of the stuff we're about to show here, like cutting this whole floor pan out or trunk pan out, yeah, feel free to leave in the comments how we could have done better, but also please leave a link on how you did it better and how you showed us how to do it better. Anyways, that's all I'm going to say about that. So yeah, this is where we started cutting off the rotten pieces. This is the front air vent loom, I think they call it. These were the frame connector bars that came with the car. I ended up using these. Those are probably about the only frame pieces off the car I ended up using. And we straightened them out and ended up connecting it to the main backbone. We can weld it all the four-link stuff too. This is just me after we cut out the trunk pan, just fitting the tires in there, just kind of getting a visual what it's going to look like. The ride height actually ended up drastically lower than this picture here, and this is all before I have it on the trailer, obviously. We were just kind of setting it up and getting it ready for soda blasting here. But yeah, kind of out of order, but this is what it is. You can see the toe pans there were just pretty much Swiss cheese. This is after we got the new parts in, kind of finishing out. Pillars are getting done here as well. The pillars actually took quite a long time to form and get right. The heirloom part didn't take long at all. I think that took a day or two to make it look okay, but yeah, the pillars actually took quite a bit of time. And this voiceover, all disclaimer here too, is not going to be professional. None of them will be. But if you're into this sort of stuff, I hope you like it. So we will have some raw clips at the end. It won't be a complete slideshow, so make sure to stay tuned for that if you want to see some raw footage of stuff on these episodes. But this was all initial body work. You can start seeing some metal getting laid in the chassis here. You can see where I welded those connector bars into the main frame that was started here. This is where I started cutting toe pans out. Both toe pans got replaced. I kind of do regret doing the toe pans, only because I probably should have moved the motor back. There's a lot of things on this car I would have done different. This is one of them right here. I would have done a whole quarter instead of a half quarter. That was a great learning lesson. Great learning lesson on this one. Never do a half quarter again. You can go on that. If you're interested on why I had struggled with this, ask me in the comments and I'll go on about that. But lots of little stitch welding going on these body panels. You'll see a welding clip coming up. This is where I deleted the gas cap in the upper part of the quarter that I didn't cut out. And yeah, it looks hideous here, but you can't even tell in the car where this was. So I'm pretty proud of how it turned out. But yeah, anyways, to go on what I was just talking about, any advice if you want to take it from some hillbilly who built his own race car, don't listen to anybody else if you're wanting to do stuff with your car. That if you're building a car right now and you have somebody in your ear saying you should do it this way instead of this way, do it the way you want. That's the biggest regret I have in my car, is listening to other people as far as parts that I should buy or that I thought were going to be good because I was told, and it just didn't work out. You can see how I did a lot of that stitch welding back there. This quarter was done pretty much the same way. Cut the old one out, stitch weld it in, just heat it up, cool it down, heat it up, cool it down. We obviously didn't weld that way with these mainframe bars that you can see there, but every piece of metal in here was hand cut, hand bent, handmade, all by us in-house. And you can see here, this is a great newbie lesson there. Those 4-link mounts were welded in upside down initially, but we ended up having to cut those out and flip them around. But this is all initial frame chassis start here. It's all 2x3 in the bottom, and then the cage is all round and everything, but yeah, nothing too extravagant. And those are just 2x3 arms or bars that we hand bent and hand welded and gusseted and put all back together. 12-point cage from S&W is what's in it. That's like where I was talking about. We use the frame connector bars basically. But yeah, the 12-point cage from S&W we did have to cut down. Not too big a deal there. I was actually really happy with how this cage showed up. So, and then this is where we just started mocking up the rear end. That's the original 9-inch that did come with the car, and we used that to build our own fab 9-inch. That's a Heights front end that I wish I never would have got, but it's on the car now, and it works. But I wish we would have built it for a little more travel. That was a learning lesson. This is where we built the 4-link, and I believe it was I think it was a Summit kit or a Speedmaster 4-link kit. And we just kind of put it in there with some levels and some geometry. You can see the 4-link mounts are upside down there, but it all kind of worked out in the end, like I said. But we built all this, like I said, this is not outsourced at all. For about a week, I did consider putting a 4-speed in the car, just for shits and giggles, but we didn't. Ended up saving that for another project. Stay tuned for that. We're building the 49 Crosley pickup, rat rod that transmission's going in. So also the 31's off this car going in that. You can see we got the steering column in here. I didn't want to use a stock one just because it wouldn't fit hardly for what we were doing. This is where I've got the mid plate kind of mounted in. And you notice it's a different tranny in this shot. It's a 4L80. There was a long point in time I was putting a 4L80 in this car. You can see toe pans are in here too. Got those welded in here. And this is where, yeah, we got a lot of parts that we didn't need along the journey, but this is where I got those. A lot of this footage too is missing, so this is all 5 years ago stuff. So if there's bits and pieces missing here, I can definitely go try to look and see if you guys are if anybody's interested, let me know in the comments, and I can go back and look for it. But this is just what I kind of pulled out of this phone. This is after we kind of got, this is a little later footage here. We were getting the cage all 100% done and whatnot. You can see here my shock mounts are actually crooked. I ended up having to cut those out along the way too. This is all early mock-up stuff, early mock-up stuff. You can see our gussets we built in what I called the up and over bars there, and yeah, they got a proper term, I'm sure. But this was all it, and this was all 2020 stuff here, so we will be moving to some raw footage here. This was all just Saturday night goofing off stuff, so it might be a little shaky. I had to take the audio out of it because I was rocking out to Alice Cooper in the background and don't want to get copyrighted on my first YouTube video. But yeah, if you guys have any input on this deal, put it in the comments. But like I said, try not to be too critical on me. And it was going to start with a 5.3 and ended up with a 6.0 just because why not, and it came about. But there's lots of Saturday nights and Friday nights spent on this car. I run a small engine repair shop, so that takes up pretty much most of my week. If you guys are interested in that stuff, check out Small Engine Repair channel. But this was my hobby other than that. Just spending Saturday and Friday night working on this deal for, shoot, about 4 years. So we finally got her somewhat runnable. So yeah, thanks y'all for watching and all that. If y'all are interested in it, Next week, we are going to take this car off of the trailer. And then we are going to finish the Fab 9-inch. And that's a whole deal. We'll got some video clips on that. We're going to get it in the car, and we're going to end up with a roller. So, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.